Alright, well, I've been a little delinquent in getting out here and taking care of the garden. And so I've been out here working today, pulling out some of my diseased plants that I really have not been keeping up with at all. I have not been spraying or anything except for my pole beans. I was able to get these Japanese beetles under control using diatomaceous earth, so that worked really good. So now I was in here weeding my potato bed, and you know, these things have yellowed over and everything like they're supposed to, and when I weeded I found a really nice red potato. So I think it's time to go ahead and pull these up. So I'm going to go ahead and play with this a little bit and see what I can get. I got a feeling there's quite a few in here. I don't know if you would call that a bumper crop, but I kind of quickly dug through this channel here, and I've got 3 of these. But this is like a 3-gallon container, and I've got about probably a little more than 1/3 of a gallon just in that row. Plus I got a whole bunch of little seed potatoes that I can use when I start up in the fall. So anyways, I got 2 beds I got to dig up, but it is freaking hot out here already. So I'm probably going to hold off until later. And I had to pull up all my tomatoes because I really had just let them go to crap. They got like a fungus going, and might have been a type of blight. You can see it around the bottom of that plant there, but I'm going to go ahead and replant. We got just gobs of tomatoes off of here. The other day, just off of my pole bean plant, I got about 2 gallons of pole beans. I'll show you inside the house. These things are putting off probably about 2 gallons every 3 or 4 days. And I got a whole bunch of cucumbers I got to pick too. God, wait till you see some of these things. That thing is huge. We had one the other day that was about, I kid you not, like 1.5 feet long. And I got another one right back there hanging through the thing, so I got to pick these now too. We're running. You can't let them get too big; they'll start turning yellow, and they're not as good. Here we are on the other side. In fact, I'm looking over here. I got even more pole beans to pick. These are massive. Unfortunately, it's a lot of glare out here, so it's hard for me to see in the camera. Yeah, there's a bunch more I got to pick. We've got to do some canning tonight because they turn soft pretty quick. Let me go ahead and get these cucumbers off of here. I got to get a big old basket. That's quite a few cucumbers, and these things are. My foot is 12 inches, so you can see how big these things are. That's impressive. So anyways, I need to get some water on here because we haven't had water for a while, and it is just horribly hot. So I'm going to go ahead and get these things out of here. Oh man, I missed another cucumber right here. It's a fatty. I usually cut these off, but it actually works really well just to twist them off. And, you know, taking these cucumbers off will, cucumbers. I usually say pickles. Taking these cucumbers off will give, let a little stress off the plant. Let it rejuvenate itself. I see another cucumber on the back I got to get. Again, why don't they make cucumbers red so you can find them? There it is. These aren't as plump, but again, I'm going to try to remove some stress off the plant while I get some water in it, and that'll help a lot. It takes a lot of energy to feed these cucumbers. I see a yellow one in there. Some of these yellow ones, for some reason, or the small ones, just never take off, but they make perfect pickles too. All right. My wife usually goes in behind me and finds all the ones that I missed. It's the same thing with getting these green beans. It's quite a challenge. All right, let me get these in and get some watering going because these plants need it bad. All right, so I wanted to show you my green beans over the last say 4 days. This is incredible, and it's majority of them are pole beans. That pole bean plant over there is putting out probably 4 times the amount of the bush beans. So I definitely got a great location for that. I probably need to move my bush beans over into a more sunny location, but that's a lot of green beans. And then here's the potatoes out of one row. Those are really nice looking red potatoes. I can't wait to eat those. I got to set them outside and let them harden up a little bit. And then cucumbers. I mean, I've been giving these things away. We got so many, but it's time to make some more pickles. I got just gobs of them. And you know, we got the cherry tomatoes and the middle-sized tomatoes, and I got more over here, and some bell peppers are coming out, as well as some jalapenos. Finally getting some of those, so I got to start. I got to start cooking because I got plenty to get going here. And I'm telling you, I have got a whole bunch of potatoes I got to pull out. I can already tell. So anyways, potatoes last a long time. Cucumbers, green beans don't last so long, so I need to get these canned. So that'll be a job for this evening. So we pulled out quite a few of our carrots, and we're going to cut the tops off and go give that to the chickens. And then I've got all my yellow onions and garlic on top here. And then these were the red potatoes we pulled out. And it's kind of amazing when you think about each bed only took a couple of these sized tomatoes or potatoes that I had cut into pieces and stuck in there, and yet we got, I don't know, this might be about a 5-gallon bucket full. It wasn't a huge harvest, but one of the beds I just planted too late. You really got to get these planted early. And so that's what we're going to do next year. We just got to get them out early. But I think we have another opportunity in the fall. So we're going to save quite a few of these smaller potatoes to use for like seeds. And then we'll get another whole batch. This is a nice thing. It's kind of a perennial thing. All right, we're breaking down these pole beans. And it's actually a really simple process, but you break the ends off, and then there's a string on each side on the older ones, and you see how we've got to pull that string off. And then you just break them into 2 or 3 inch pieces, and that allows you to make sure you get all the strings off, because each time you break it, you find more strings. And it's real simple, but we're just about done with the 2nd gallon. We got 2 more gallons to go, and then we're just going to go ahead and can these up tonight. Let me show you what we've got. So those are the finished ones. And these are the ones that we're splitting. And there's not that much waste on these. It's just the very ends that you break off, and then the little string that you pull out. Now the bush beans don't seem to have the strings. It's only the pole beans. But the pole beans, I just get so many more pole beans on that bush, like I said earlier. So it's a prolific producer. I really actually like the pole beans better myself. So it turns out 4 gallons of green beans equals 9 quarts. It's a pretty simple recipe. Kind of go ahead and pack these in and just leave them short of where the threaded area is. And then you put 1 teaspoon of canning salt. And then I'm going to come back with boiling hot water and pour over the top to fill this over the top of the green beans. And then we're going to pressure can at 10 psi for 25 minutes. And the unfortunate thing is, because this pressure canner holds 7 of these quart-sized jars, I got to do this twice. So I may end up, no, I can't really do that. I was going to say maybe I'll do some pickles, but the pickles turn to mush when you do the pressure canning. So I don't know, I'll just have to do it twice. But that's going to be a bunch of green beans. Anyways, simple, folks. Nothing hard about this. And these are real. I mean, we normally, when we get the green beans from the store, we use 2 of these containers when we cook. And so these are 14.5 ounces. So that would make it, almost 30 ounces when you do 2 cans. And so this is, 32, depending on, where the measurement is. So, each one of these cans is about what our normal serving is, because we like leftovers. Now, another thing I was going to tell you is if you have the time, go ahead and make your full recipe where you go ahead and, put your onions in, put your bacon in and all that, because, if we're going through, some tough times, it may be difficult to get that stuff. And so while it's available, excuse me, go ahead and make the full meal. So I probably about half and half. We actually have a recipe with green beans. I think I put it up on the website under gluten-free recipes where we use tomato paste, and oh my God, that is unbelievable. So, but remember, the acidic things don't last as long as these things. So acidic things only last, I think it might be a year and a half, but your canned green beans, just like this, will last, probably 5, 6 years or more. All right, just wanted to tell you that. Hope you're having a great day. Talk to you later. So every week or so, my little poo chute from my rabbit hutches fills up, and I actually have to start excavating, and that's the low point over there where the chickens are digging right now. I just took about 4 wheelbarrows full, and I've got like a little valley down here in the bottom of the yard that I stuck a log across. So I'm going to start filling that up with the rabbit poo, as well as taking it over to the other part of my yard where I'm starting to make that a food plot. But this is free soil. We take the rabbit Timothy grass that's left over each day, and we throw it in here and mix it in, and that gives some organic matter besides the poo itself that's already kind of been recycled. And this is like magic stuff, and I'm constantly have probably about 40 rabbits that are growing up each period of time. Even though I just processed about 20 of them, I have more that are coming in. I just had a batch of babies born, and so I probably have about minimum 30 babies right now, and more are coming. It's a regular production line, so I got to keep ahead of this, even though it's early in the morning and there's no breeze and the humidity's super high, so I'm soaking wet like I took a shower. But I'm retired, so I just do a little bit every day. So I've kind of dug out this part. Last time when I was filling my buckets up for the side area hill that I was doing, I dug out this part over here away from the edge because it was like running around past my chute. But the chickens get in here and they actually just kick this down, and it just naturally fills up the chute, so it's pretty cool. The problem I'm running into is some of my supports are getting undermined by rain and also the chickens, so I've got to come back and reinforce that. That's actually not an actual floor support, that's part of the roof, but in any event, I need to work on some of this. Even over here, I've noticed chickens and the rain have kind of undermined this wall, so I got to get some more bags of concrete, and I'll make something a little more substantial here. But there's always something to do. You just kind of get started and then you go from there. All right, well, this is just the fun parts we got to do around here. It's kind of amazing when I get in here and turn the pile how the chickens come in here and they're like looking around. So did you find anything? Did you get anything for me in here? But there's really nothing down in this level. It's in the upper level. This is a little too mushy down here, but they still just love scratching in it. And it helps me because they end up spreading it all out again. I'm surprised that, with that I exposed down there, that they're not working on that more, but for some reason they like this. The biggest problems with this, they end up getting these clay balls all over their feet, and it looks kind of funny after a while, but we're supposed to get a lot of rain over this next week, which will make this quite a bit of a mud pie, so that's why I'm trying to get some of this done now.